Hey guys, I wanted to share something before I start the video today. Um, I want to state that what I've been doing these past, however long it's been, 8 or 10 months, I guess, of putting out these videos, I've been referring to it as work with a capital W, and it's clear, and it's been clear to me for some time in a sort of background level that really what I'm doing now is of some use. Definitely, it helps my self-esteem. Um, kind of adds to my life, but it's kind of half-assed, and it's not at all strategic, and it's kind of often featuring kind of ideas of the week, which is not the way that I need to be to go about presenting such a big, profound, deep idea and its underpinnings. Um, I came to the line that I think is 100% accurate, but it sounds a little extreme, but I'm not worthy of doing my work yet. Um, there's a lot of changing and growing that I have to do, and really, it's been a struggle um, to get together all the ideas that I have put in my videos. And I'm not saying those ideas are worthless, by the way. I mean, most of them, or many of them, will be included in my work. It's just that this is kind of a practice run or something. So um, I wanted to just let everybody know that, and not. I don't want people thinking less of me for um, just kind of this real mediocre quality and you know subpar commitment that I feel like I have with these videos, even though I take them seriously. So thank you for listening to me, and here's the content. That I have good notes for. It's almost a script, and I actually tried an earlier recording, and it was not nearly as long as most of my videos tend to be. So y'all ought to like that. So going right into it according to the notes. As soon as that finishes loading. Okay. So the first topic is the difference between my heart's desire and my second heart's desire. My heart's desire is defined as sharing the pattern with the world in the sense of the original idea as I knew it back when it was like live in my head and was actually possessing me during my first mania and another time a few months after that. Um, you may have been thinking that sharing the pattern with the world is what I've been doing with these videos, but it's really not. It's really just it's other aspects of my work, but it's building up to that. So my heart's desire is what I originally wanted to do. It is what's true to my original story in life back when I first encountered it, which is post-Barcelona, pre-mental illness. And as well as sharing the pattern with the world, it includes marriage, family, and everything else that my heart desires in due time in exchange for this one thing. It's all kind of tied together around that one thing. Now, it's fabulously difficult from this point right here. It feels almost impossible to do the full 180 based on the direction that my life's headed in order to be able to fulfill that. Um, and it's not just the 180. There's work after that. Although I think that work will be a lot easier. Um, let's see. I'm able to do it, sharing a pattern with the world. It doesn't require anything of me beyond what I've already had or done at some point in my life. Um, so, my work ethic from high school and my just different parts of my life, even including some things that I've learned in the past 7 years. A lot of the work that I've done at like discovering and embodying my shadow, my psychological shadow, that has to all be integrated. It has to be made uh, made real and connected when I'm not in the altered state that allows me to embody it. Um, and then my heart's desire fulfills me as a human being, um, and specifically as a human being. Uh, you'll see why that counts, I think. And I wanted to put a hesitant note on this list as well of an obstacle that I have to this, and it is that I don't believe that I'm worthy of who I will have to become / re-become in order to achieve this. So my second heart's desire is the second best thing to my heart's desire. It's very awesome and fulfilling, but not inherently healing. And I get this, I receive this automatically at this point in my story, whether or not I do that 180 and the rest of the work. So fiveness in its creation is the heart of this. It requires me to take on a new role in about 5.5 years. It's less emotionally fulfilling than my heart's desire. Um, Now, come fiveness, all beings will be happy, but I won't get another chance to do what I have the chance to do now in my heart's desire. I'd be selling myself short by accepting my second heart's desire without having the first as well. And my second heart's desire, I know easily that I'm worthy of it. It's I own it freely, unlike my heart's desire. So, let's get more into that 180, or well, a concept related to that, and a bit more about it as well. So here I'm talking about left flow and right flow. I am not really sure how it relates to my previous concept of Christian and anti-Christian flow, but I do know that it's a different concept because in this here the left flow and right flow are equal, and they're equal. They're equal in magnitude and so forth, which wasn't true of the other two. Right flow is generally just called the flow, with or without a capital F, as like a spiritual or psychological mental concept. And so these are associated with the right and left hand paths. Each of these flows, which is literally like a current, a flow, is the product of magic of the respective hand. So, in practical general terms, you could say left flow originates from getting high, right flow originates from working. So both flows feel good, and really they feel similar. I kind of think that the direction is really all that's different about them. And they both create, they um, they both spur the person who feels them into continuing them. Although with the right flow, one must take into account that there's effort involved in working, which may lessen the desire to do the activities that create the flow, but I don't think it lessens desire for the flow itself. I think those are equal for the two. Okay, so I have a diagram, just one of two, that I'm doing today. Okay, so with this, two kind of hemicircular tracks, the right flow in this model is indicated with the blue arrows. So what we're looking at is these little tiny black circles or dots here and here. So that indicates where I am now. And so where I am now is all the way up against the extreme of how much to the left you can be, basically. No further to go in that direction. And I've been there for some time. And yeah, that's a little bit trying or even embarrassing. But so the truth is, what I've been doing is I get an eensy bit of right hand flow, and I get up here just a degree, and then I relapse in addiction or do some other action that pushes me back to where I was, and just stuck in that cycle. What I need to do is bring it all the way around to the other side. Both of these. So these move together. I mean, I thought at first about connecting them by a line. So they both need to be moved with the right flow all the way to the other side, which will take not just work to create the flow, but it will take a good deal of time. I am not 100% sure how much, and it's hard to say when there's miracles to account for. Who knows? Okay, so that's all I need to say really with that. Back to my notes. Okay, I just alluded briefly to the fact that I'm going to have a new role in 5.5 years, and I'm still not ready to name it or talk directly about it, but I do want to say something related to that, which is that the part of something that pertains to the role is that part of my soul must have been mortally wounded and then healed. And so the part in question is what I currently call just my body. And it's kind of a metaphysical layer of my body more than my physical body, although really it's both. It's a single body of ether in which I have shredded along 4 directions with addiction. So my first brokenness was one direction, shredding it and creating my addiction. And my second brokenness was the other 3. And a new body of ether has been created for me in the same sort of processes that produced those, some of the changes that caused that second brokenness. And so I have a new body, which is called my anti-hemp body, although on Twitter and in some previous videos I've been erroneously calling it the anti-mist body. And so that anti-hemp body is going to replace my shattered hemp body, which I previously called mist. And just to visualize what I'm talking about as a body, it's just like my normal kind of picture of the soul, the fourth spindle with the content of the soul as the tetrahedron, the solid part, and the only difference with this here is that all of the spindles are what I call anti-spindles, and I'll demonstrate that. So this is where I go to the other figure, and this is when I recorded before. I just drew this on while recording, but since I have it, I'll just use it. So this is a 2-dimensional analog of the situation that I'm in, me and my new replacement body. So you have the three spindle, the left, right, and throughout hands of the part that's written in just plain pen. So that's like the original basic weld body, to stick to the lingo. All of the what I call anti-spindles are just like extensions of the primary spindles across to the other side, and then out in an equal distance. I'm trying to say that this is equidistant to this. So it's exactly like the regular spindle except for in the direction. And so each of these left, right, and throughout has a anti-left, anti-right, anti-throughout. And what is going to happen, as far as I can tell, with my body, is that the anti-spindles will replace the corresponding non-anti-spindles. So anti-left will replace left, anti-right will replace right, and so on. Now you can see just by kind of looking at it and kind of doing it in your head that if I were to move this anti-left down to here on top of left, the other two would also be in the right place. Throughout the mist would also at that point line up with their respective anti-spindles. So that's real useful. And it brings me to the question of which direction. Actually, I think there's some more stuff I need to say before that. So no, I just gonna say that there's two directions you could take on this figure in moving the blue part, and it's basically left or right, clockwise or counterclockwise. And so that is a question that I should answer in the four-dimensional, well, my four-dimensional, three-dimensional case. And so for that, I have for that, I'm just gonna, I'll try to keep this brief. I believe that when you have the four-dimensional case, that there are actually three directions you can spin, and I'll tell you why I come to that, the clues I have. First of all, just looking at a four spindle or a tetrahedron and trying to think how you could rotate it, it's really impossible to picture like one single direction, without having to change directions or do it kind of stepwise. And that really implies that this this spin has to be of a higher dimension. And so the other thing is that here on the model, the tetrahedron has three sides at each vertex, and so if you have the spin acting on it, there's three different places at each corner that it can push. And finally, so concluding that it's a four-dimensional type of motion, I already know that there are three chiralities there. That's something I personally discovered, and is I'm sure controversial if people would talk about it. but they will. So what else do I have here? Not much. I wanted to say that the repairing my body, the entire job of it, um, that will take those entire 5.5 years. And I have had some chances to get through magic and miracles to have a more advanced, not a more advanced, I've kind of been able to skip ahead some occasionally, um, but I always fall back behind due to my addiction. Um, so I guess that's all I have to say, actually. So thank you. Bye.